Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a super exciting visual journey right into the heart of nature. We're going to uncover the secret engine of life that keeps our entire planet running. Get ready to explore how energy travels, how plants literally build our world, and how all living things are connected. Let's jump right in. Okay, let's kick things off with a really massive question. Have you ever wondered why some places on Earth, like, say, a rich green forest or a bright coral reef, can support millions of living things, while other places look totally empty? What's the secret ingredient that makes an environment just burst with animals and plants? Well, today we're going to solve that mystery together.
Section 1. What is biomass? This is the first big clue to our mystery.
So what exactly is biomass? Simply put, it's the total amount of living matter in an ecosystem at a specific time. Think of biomass as all the living building blocks in a certain area. Imagine if you could somehow gather up every single living thing in a forest, every single leaf, every tiny bug, every bird flying around, and weigh them all together. If you did that, you'd be measuring that forest's biomass.
To make it super easy, we can divide all of this living matter into 3 basic groups. First up, we've got phytomass, which is just plant biomass. This means all the trees, grasses, leaves, roots, and even the algae in the water. Next is zoomass, or animal biomass. That covers insects, fish, birds, mammals, and yep, even you. Finally, we have microbial biomass. These are the tiny, microscopic organisms you usually can't see with your bare eyes, like bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. Put them all together, and they make up the living weight of an entire ecosystem. Moving on to Section 2, flowing energy, cycling matter. Let's see what keeps all this biomass alive.
Everything in nature follows this amazing, step-by-step path. It all starts with step 1, the sun. Sunlight beams down to Earth. Then comes step 2, producers. These are the plants that catch that sunlight to make food. Next is step 3, consumers. These are the animals that eat the plants or eat other animals to get their energy. And finally, step 4, decomposers. These are the tiny microorganisms that break down dead stuff and return those valuable nutrients right back to the soil. So remember this, energy flows in a straight line from the sun, but the matter, the actual building blocks, travels in a giant circle, cycling over and over again.
Section 3. Primary and secondary productivity. This is just a fancy way of measuring how fast living things create brand new matter. Let's look at primary productivity first. This is driven entirely by plants, using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make food. Now, there are 2 terms you should know here. First is gross primary production, or GPP. Think of GPP like the total amount of money you earn from doing your chores. It's the total organic matter produced by the plants. But hey, plants have to stay alive too, and that takes energy. So net primary production, or NPP, is like the money you actually have left in your pocket after paying for your expenses. NPP is the energy that remains after plants use some of it just to breathe and live. This leftover energy is what actually builds the plant's body, making it a tasty meal for the animals that come along to eat it. And that brings us to secondary productivity, which is all about the animals, or consumers. You see, when a rabbit eats a plant, it doesn't instantly turn all that food into more rabbit. Animals use a huge chunk of the food they eat just for everyday living, like growing, running around, and reproducing. Because they burn so much energy just staying active and warm, only a tiny part of the food they eat actually gets converted into their own body mass. Which leads us to a seriously huge number, 90%. That's right, about 90% of energy is totally lost at each level of the food chain. When a deer eats grass or a wolf eats a deer, almost all of that energy is lost as heat. Only a tiny 10% fraction actually gets passed on to the next animal in line. Mind-blowing, right? And this brilliant fact explains a huge rule of biology. Because so much energy is lost at every single step, food chains are usually pretty short. There just isn't enough energy left over to keep passing it along to a 5th, 6th, or 7th animal in the chain. The energy simply runs out. Section 4. Earth's top ecosystems. Let's meet the ultimate productivity champions of our planet. Our Earth is home to 4 incredible ecosystems that are the absolute best at grabbing the sun's energy to create life. We're talking about tropical rainforests, wetlands, coral reefs, and the open ocean. Let's see what makes them so amazing. Tropical rainforests are warm and wet all year round, so plants can grow continuously. In fact, they have more species than any other land ecosystem on Earth.
Then we have wetlands. They have super rich soil and lots of water, which makes them perfect for growing organic matter. Coral reefs sit in bright, warm, shallow water. They cover a tiny, tiny area of the planet, but support thousands of different marine species. And finally, the open ocean. Sure, it looks like just a bunch of water, but the upper layers are packed with tiny algae called phytoplankton. These little guys are so productive, they actually make about half of the oxygen we breathe.
Section 5, the Ecosystem Challenge. Okay, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you remember. Here is your challenge question. Which of these 3 ecosystems do you think produces the most organic matter? Is it A, the desert, B, the tropical rainforest, or C, the Arctic tundra? Go ahead and shout your answer at the screen. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you guess B? You nailed it! The tropical rainforest is the correct answer. Because it's so warm and wet all year long, it has incredibly high primary productivity. That makes it an absolute powerhouse for growing new plant life and feeding all sorts of amazing animals. Which brings us to our big takeaway for today. The higher the productivity of an ecosystem, the more life it can support. Biomass and productivity are the secret formulas that allow life to absolutely thrive on our planet. So the next time you step outside, take a look around and think about the incredible journey of energy happening right in front of you. Keep exploring nature, keep asking big questions, and discover how life on Earth is beautifully connected. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today on this explainer. See you next time.